My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over if you'd like to see, help out. If not, vote for the other guy. Give me a look, though, okay?
What the Question of the day. Okay, this is a serious question. I'm not joking around at all. I genuinely think, and I really think that Vice President Joe Biden may have early onset dementia. I want to get to the debates a little bit, but give you a little bit more context here. Obviously, it was very interesting last night from Bloomberg accidentally admitting that he bought politicians, but everyone else is talking about that too. This is not one of the reasons I think he has dementia, but it's just funny. So let's lead with it to Joe Biden coining the phrase "first-time homeboners."
I provide for the opportunity for first-time home buyers.
Okay, now that is funny. Dementia notwithstanding, it's not because of the lobe or the cerebral cortex. It's just boners. But
just brown, really funny.
That's a slip of the tongue. Biden's always been known for gaffes, right? But I think there's a little bit more, by the way, than gaffes. In the past, Joe Biden, people may say, like Barack Obama said 57 states, or George W. Bush would say
it's
nuclear.
Or something like that.
President Donald Trump, I'm sure there are some in there. Covfefe, okay, that's a tweet, really, but that's just probably he just was like, I don't need autocorrect. He thinks that he's better. He thinks he can beat the system. He's the kind of guy to have Google Maps, and he thinks he can beat the map. You can never beat the maps.
It's true.
Which doesn't give you a lot of hope for AI. But Joe Biden would make up stories about times that never happened with people he's never met in places that don't even exist. And it used to be just a guy with no accountability who didn't think that anyone was going to fact check him at all. But I don't see that anymore. I really don't think that he's in on the joke. So a couple things. Here's I think we have 7 examples.
Oh, yeah.
And there are more, but I wanted to pick
lot.
the top 7. The 7th example where I think he might actually have some dementia is you can see him stopping and stuttering and stopping mid-sentence.
I'd make it clear to China, we are going to continue to move closer to make sure that we can, in fact, prevent North Korea from launching missiles to take them down. And if we don't, why am I stopping? No one else stops.
Okay.
Oh, man.
We don't know, Joe. And then he just stops.
Yeah.
Like you would think he'd continue. Like, why am I stopping? And then, why am I? No one else stops. I'm going to continue. Which is, why am I stopping? He talked about getting arrested in South Africa. And then after some more context, it makes it even worse.
This day, 30 years ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robben
Easily
Island.
fact check.
Okay, I should be clear. That obviously wasn't from the debate. Most of these are from the debate, then some others. I just wanted to pull from the vault right next to Walt Disney's anti-Semitic corpse. But what makes this so bad, the UN ambassador said that's a lie. He said that's not true at all. And this is an example right there of someone who doesn't have any self-awareness, Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden thought he was going to waltz through this.
Yeah.
And so like JFK with the jaundice and all the painkillers and all the affairs and the venereal diseases, he just thought no one's ever going to know because everyone loves me.
He doesn't know that the internet exists.
Right, so. Exactly. He does not know that the internet exists and that this will exist in perpetuity, and he just doesn't realize that people are going to be fact-checking him, and that's really been his Achilles heel here, is just that people can say, rewind? And that's the end of his campaign.
It's that easy.
And we have some that get even more egregious, but we're laughing because these are funny. They're funny when you take them out of context and it's just the clips. But when you add them up, and having dealt with family members who had Alzheimer's or dementia, I really see some of the signs. People feeling like they kind of forget where they are, getting a little bit flustered, not being able to find their words. It's beyond just fatigue. And I don't even know how he could be that fatigued. He's not really making that many stops.
Yeah, right.
He is the most lazy campaign I think I've ever seen. I don't even think he knows how to spell ground game. Let's go to example number 5 where he said that he worked with, this is one too, with Xiaoping? No, I'm joking. Xiaoping? One of those names. Here you go.
One of the things I'm proudest of is getting moved, getting control of the Paris Climate Accord. I'm the guy that came back after meeting with Deng Xiaoping and making the case that I believe China would join if we put pressure on them.
Okay, we're going to get back to more that are in the debates, but I just like that one because the man in question had been dead for over 10 years. So this is, again, that comes from just not caring that people are going, well, hold on a second, wait a second, did you say that? Oh, no, he's been dead for 10 years. That's a lie. Joe, either you're crazy or that's a lie. And then he starts talking about punching a guy in the face and wrapping his hand in a chain at Amy's Diner. And you're like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I don't know. And here's another one. I think this is from the debate. This was Vice President Biden. And like I said, because if you don't laugh, you'll cry, which I think he did after the debates. This is Vice President Biden against professional 16-ounce beverage banner-in-chief Bloomberg. Watch.
I am a fan of Obamacare. At the beginning, Mr. Vice President, I just checked the record because you'd said one time that I was not. In 2009, I testified and gave a speech before the mayor's conference in Washington, advocating it and trying to get all the mayors to sign on. And I think at that time I wrote an article praising Obamacare. It was either in the New York Post or the Daily News. So the facts are I was there. Let me finish. Thank you.
You wasn't even talking. Can I hop in? No, you can't hop in there, President Joe Biden. Mandelbaum. This, you know what that reminded me of specifically when Bloomberg and Biden would go after each other? It reminded me of this early internet viral video. Still one of my favorites. Hold on, no, this is French Canadian, by the way. He's cussing up a storm. Now watch this. When he swings and it's a downward driveway, listen to the sound. You gotta listen. Wait. No. And that is
greatest generation.
That is why men and women are different. Every guy I've shown that video laughs his ass off, and every woman goes, "Oh, that's so. No. Is he okay? No, he's probably not." And he was starting shit, which is funny at any age. By the way, if you're subscribed, hit the notification bell and hit all notifications because subscriptions don't mean a whole lot. And do consider joining Mug Club. For example, this is taken from an entire hour show that's not available on YouTube because we're not monetized. Here's another. Oh, this is one that I loved, that a lot of people didn't catch. Not so much indicative of dementia, just he's kind of a dick. So this is one where he talks about, is this what he promises? A black, sorry, I don't want to offend people. I don't want to.
Be careful.
African-American woman on the Supreme Court, but it's what he says after that's a tell.
The fact is, what we should be doing, we talked about the Supreme Court. I'm looking forward to making sure there's a black woman on the Supreme Court to make sure we, in fact, get every representation. Not a joke.
Right, like people thought he was going to go, psych! It's going to be another white guy.
This isn't a comedy, guys.
Not a joke. And you know what that tells me, too, by the way? It's like when someone says, okay, let me be honest with you. What were you being before?
Yeah, right.
What was happening for the other 45 minutes of this conversation? That's not a joke. Okay, and that's people give me flack, and rightfully so. I often say, by the way, or we've talked about this. Yeah. But that word whisker is me trying to encourage you to fact check this show. Like, we've talked about this. In other words, go through the archives. We've been consistent. Yeah. We've mentioned this in the past. I can't be bothered to do overlays 50,000 times. And if you don't know how to use a bibliography, that's your fault, not mine. Unlike the Young Turks, we do provide sources. Or if I say, by the way, I'm going, oh, this is something that I forgot. It's important. Him saying, it's not a joke, is saying I'm a lying human. All the time, outside of this one instance.
Except for right now.
And let me be clear, too. I don't want to play by a double standard. I don't think Vice President Joe Biden is racist. I really don't. I think that's kind of just a little bit tone deaf, like a somewhat ignorant aunt who might not be super familiar with black people, confuse them because she thinks they all look alike, that kind of thing. It doesn't mean that this person is racist. I just think that it is piss your pants funny. And here's another one I don't know if it's just a word whisker with Vice President Joe Biden, because he doesn't correct himself. Do you notice that?
No.
The one time actually he corrected himself yesterday. He said, "Oh no, wait, and he corrected himself and repeated the exact same thing."
Oh boy! So I have to look up to him for the consistency.
Even his corrections, we need to know how many Pinocchios. And you're saying, well, that's the same amount of Pinocchios as before he made the correction, because there wasn't a correction. It's still Pinocchios. This one, I don't know. He never corrected it, so I don't know if he believes it, if he was poorly equipped, or again, when you add this up cumulatively, just like cumulative concussive syndrome, maybe he has some dementia going on where he talks about gun violence.
Imagine if I stood here and said we give immunity to drug companies, we give immunity to tobacco companies. That has caused carnage on our streets. 150 million people have been killed since 2007 when Bernie voted to exempt the gun manufacturers from liability.
Teacher, I have a
More
question.
than all the wars, including Vietnam.
Half the population of the country in 10 years? Now, it'd be one thing if he said 150 million people. No, wait. And then you go, okay, it's a word whisker. But he goes, more than all wars in Vietnam and Warsaw. And they're like, okay, Joe, just stop while you're not ahead. It's 150 million people dead.
Yeah.
Since 2007, in 10 years, half the country. The Walking Dead doesn't see those kind of mortality rates. I don't. Has he corrected it since? I haven't seen him correct it at any point.
I have not seen it. Bernie's like, he's wrong.
Could you?
No.
Can I ask a question? No. All right. That's all. It was a remark. This was the biggest disaster, and also convinced me that Donald Trump will be president in 2020. Tomorrow we'll be talking about that. Gavin McInnes will be on the show, laying out the case as to why I think it's like a 90% chance that he wins. Could you imagine if President Donald Trump, or let's just go back to George W. Bush, had something that wrong, had it off by, say,
to the end
150 million? Because at that point, I think the number is 400,000. I don't have the sources with me. Again, I'm going by rote here. You guys fact check me. I think it's 400,000 total gun deaths since 2007. I could be off, plus or minus a few. Let's even say a couple 100,000. But with 150 million, that's not even a rounding error. He's so basically off by 150 million. And no correction. And I watched the post-game round. I watched Anderson Cooper. Mm-hmm. I watched him and Don Lemon, the hosts you could fit in your back pocket who all saunter. They all sashay on back to their homes and their old repurposed firehouses in the West Village and then wonder why they're out of touch as to anyone who could be voting Donald Trump. I watched those shows, and none of them said 150 million. Wait
a second.
Here's the thing. I don't expect much from you, CNN or ABC, NBC, CBS, MSNBC, anyone. I just how about every now and then just a little... Huh? That's all I want. I just want, once, not even a syllable, really.
Yeah.
Just a guttural. Even, you know what? Would suffice. That's it. You don't even have to repeat what he said to force him to question whether he's right or wrong. If someone just maybe said with Joe Biden in his meetings, 150 million. If someone said that to me in our pitch meetings, I would say 150 million dead. So if someone said 150 million, I would go, oh, wait, is that wrong? You're off by 149.5 million. Thank you for correcting me, Quarter Black Carrot. I would have embarrassed myself on national television. The internet, but let's be honest, more people are watching this than the debates at this point. It didn't even trend for the first hour. Nobody cares anymore. Just break off some pool cues. Let's go to the first example, and this is one to me that is not only what he says, but I think we have the clip extended right so you can hear it kind of feather out toward the end, which is the quote, the soundbite is funny, right? Makes no sense, but then he almost seems as though he like drank a bucket of salt water, and that's what makes me think he actually has some kind of neurodegenerative disease, damage. I don't know. I would like to know the story. This is where he talks about his campaign running for. Let him fill in the blanks.
I'm here to ask you for your help. Where I come from, you don't get far unless you ask. My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Look me over. If you'd like to see, help out. If not, vote for the other guy. Give me a look, though, okay?
What the f***?
What was that sound?
What do you
Give me a look.
What was that thing? Was it salvia that Miley Cyrus and those people were doing back in the day? Where they just make no sense for 45 seconds? Is that what happened?
I don't know what happened.
First off, you might have forgotten that he said he's running for Senate. Fact check, incorrect.
Yeah, that's wrong.
And by the way, I'm giving you 19 Pinocchios. I'm giving you 19 Pinocchios on that, Joe Biden, to help you. You're running for, some might argue, a more important office in the land than Senate. But then, go and check me out. It is remarkable to me. And here's what I will say. I know it's kind of fun right now to watch the sort of civil war and the crossfire and step back with the Democrats. And I want you to tell me who you think is most likely to get the nomination. Bernie's the front runner, obviously. But I also think that it's cruel. I think that it's cruel for Democrats and for people surrounding Vice President Joe Biden right now to not bring to his attention that there might be some things seriously wrong with him. I'm not a medical professional. This is not me spreading some kind of a conspiracy theory, okay? I'm not saying that I can confirm this, but if I have, right now, my family is held above a piranha dunk tank, and certain death will await them if I have to place this bet. Gun to my head. Again, not a qualified medical professional, but I'm pretty sure Joe Biden has dementia. Hey, look, my shirt just changed colors. How did that happen? Well, it's the same way that I can make the magic of the walrus. It's the magic of TV. We can cut it and then you're not watching this live. But hey, there are videos playing in boxes. You can click one of those if you want to watch more. Subscribe, hit the notification bell for all notifications, new videos every day, 8 Eastern, 9 Eastern, I don't know. It's one of those. And hit like, comment. You don't have to. Wait, where'd the cup go?